forget. But one of the key benefits in Kung Fu is longevity, meaning that if we're doing this stuff properly, we should be able to do it for a very long time, whether we're 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, 110, 120. It should keep us going for a long time if we do it with health in mind. And breathing is a very big part of that. Usually over the past different iPhone releases, just comically, I've been commenting that, oh, that's great, a new iPhone with new crap on it that we don't necessarily need. That's great that we'll have it. Unfortunately, most people still don't know how to breathe properly. So that's always kind of a joke that I make with every iPhone release, so I figured it'd be a good time to slip that in again. Nothing against iPhone. I don't personally have one, but I don't knock anyone who does. But the point is that basic things for healthy living, like eating properly and breathing properly, stuff that's not really taught to the general public, and it's a shame because a lot of people get up in the morning and they don't even really wake their body up properly. Most people get up in the morning and their body does enough where it walks them from point A to point B, and then in order to wake up, they just hit themselves with a lot of caffeine to get moving, not really realizing that their body didn't even fully properly wake up because they haven't done anything. A lot of times, even just doing some stretches, going for a walk, whatever you do, whether it's yoga or whatever it is, doing that in the morning will get your body fully woken up, and you won't need to be hitting it with caffeine so much because it's not good for your system in large quantities, right? So the breathing we're going to do today is very important for that. Not only that, when it comes to dealing with stress, people don't know how to handle their stress, and breathing is a very important part of that. Breathing can calm us down and help us cope. But if we're not aware of that, what happens is we just go and we just take antidepressants to deal with issues that are there. Whereas if we're in an appropriate mindset and we're able to control our emotions and our thoughts, we can have greater control over that stress too. Okay, but it all starts with breathing. The key thing to remember with breathing is that in Kung Fu, we say the mind follows the body and the body follows the mind. Okay, so think about that. The body follows the mind and the mind follows the body. So it's an integral relationship, right? It's not really there's only an illusion there of separation between mind and body, but really they're one and the same, right? But for this example here, let's say they are two. If they are, then the body would definitely follow the mind. Right, and a lot of people already are becoming aware of this now, right? We notice that if we have a stressful, tense mind and we're mentally stressed, it usually takes its toll on the body, right? So if we're thinking about something we really don't want to do or something we dread, and we say we're sitting at a desk working, our posture starts to go like this, and it starts to follow the mindset that we have. Whereas if we're in a positive frame of mind and we're happy, typically we sit up straight and we have better posture, right? So the body will follow the mind, but it also goes the opposite way where the mind follows the body, meaning that if you're sitting like this and you're not breathing properly, right? You're breathing kind of half breaths or whatever, and you're not really moving, your mindset is going to get affected by that, right? Motion creates emotion. So the more we move and free up our body, the more blood is flowing around through our whole body and up to our brain, we're going to be a lot more positive. But if we're stagnant here, like this, our mind will soon follow that, right? So it goes both ways. The mind follows the body, and the body follows the mind. So we have to keep that in mind in Kung Fu practice, that they're integral. They're not separated, right? And when it comes to dealing with stress, that's very important because your breathing the conscious intervention over your breath will help you fix that cycle, okay? So if your body is not in a very positive physical state, right, your mind will follow. But if for once we just focus on our breathing by sitting up straight, automatically we'll start being more relaxed up here and less stressed. And the more relaxed and stressed and unstressed up here, the more we can focus and relax and breathe deep. And the more we breathe deep, the more our body will relax. Now, in turn, will help our mind relax. So when our mind is relaxed, our body will relax, right? So you just have to make a conscious effort to control that, and that all starts with proper breathing. So that's why we're working on breathing today, sorry. So that's a little bit of a long story, but it is pretty important, okay? Breathing is very important, and not just breathing on its own, but how we breathe. So we're gonna be covering diaphragmic breathing, okay? So if you know this already, that's great. I'm gonna show you some tips today you might not know, and if you haven't done this, it's definitely something you should be doing before you worry about investing in the next iPhone. Diaphragmic breathing is also sometimes referred to belly breathing or natural breathing or abdominal breathing. The reason we call it natural breathing is because that's the way we breathe naturally when we're young, when we're babies, right? When we're infants, we tend to breathe naturally. When you watch a baby breathing, if he's laying down or she's laying down, you notice that as they inhale, the belly will go up and expand, and as they exhale, it will relax down. And that's a natural way to breathe, right? Now, somewhere along the line, we forget how to do that. I don't know if it's because of stress or fear or whatever, but we stop breathing that natural way and we breathe through the chest up here, high breathing, right? Which is not the best for us. It limits how deeply we can breathe. Now, right now, when you take a full breath in, if you breathe up with your chest, you're limited to how much your lungs can actually expand, right? Because you've got this sternum here, this chest plate. And it's a little bit, you can press in a little bit, but it doesn't expand as much as your belly does. So if we can teach ourselves to expand a belly more, when we breathe in, the diaphragm will drop down, the belly will expand, and it will leave more room for the lungs to expand downward. So in time, after development, you can get much deeper breath if you expand the lungs down underneath the rib cage by expanding the belly out. Okay, now this is very, very important in Kung Fu and in yoga and in music. A lot of different things in Tai Chi, they all use this breathing for a very good reason, right? Now, a lot of times they don't like it. I know a lot of Kung Fu people, even on YouTube, I'm not going to mention who they are, but a lot of times people, when they do some kind of breathing, Qigong or whatever, stretching, you notice that they don't like to show their belly, right? They want to show the six-pack all the time. Well, in good Kung Fu, it's not all about having a six-pack. Sometimes it's about having a keg, right? Now, that doesn't mean it's a good thing to have a gut. But if you want to show off your six-pack, that doesn't mean that you're tough. It just means that you probably have a low-carb diet, right? It doesn't mean anything other than that. But when you breathe in, you don't want to be, you don't want to be sucking in your stomach all the time to show off your muscles. Sometimes you can if you're at the beach, but naturally you don't want to be doing that. You want to get in the habit of letting your belly relax out, okay, and pushing that gut out whenever you breathe in. Because what that will do is it will drop the diaphragm down, leave more room to expand your chest so you can get a full breath. Now, when you start doing this, it will be a little bit tricky. You won't feel like you can get a full breath right away until you practice. The more you practice, the more your belly will expand outwards and the more you'll be able to breathe. And then once it's automatic, you can do this all the time. It's always working for you, okay? So I'll just show you a really, really quick diagram of that, very fast. Okay, and I want you to practice this, okay? So the way this works is like this. Let's just draw a dude here. And he's got a set of lungs right here. The diaphragm is sitting right here. Now, when he breathes in and out through the chest, like we talked about, right, there's not a lot of motion this way or that way, leaving not a lot of room for the lungs to expand. Okay, when the belly expands upon inhale, okay, what happens is the diaphragm can drop down, okay, and there's pressure down here and elasticity developed here, okay? And like I said, no, it's not going to make you look as good at the beach, but it's very important for your health. So you decide what you want to train for. You want to train for vanity or you want to train for health and longevity. That's up to you, okay? Nothing wrong with having a six-pack. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying sometimes it's good to have a keg, okay? No, I'm not telling you to be fat. I'm just saying you want to learn to get elasticity in the belly so you can push that belly out, okay? So you can have the diaphragm drop down. Now, when you do this, what happens is this motion dropping down here gives a massage on all the internal organs here, and that's very important for you because when that happens, you're increasing the circulation of blood and lymph around those organs. You're going to strengthen them, and you're going to help your body to detoxify those, right? Your body has a system, the lymphatic system, that's constantly trying to clear away old dead cells in your system, and the more you breathe, the deeper you breathe, the more it's helped doing that. So you're going to have much fewer toxins in your system if you work on this breathing naturally all the time as well, okay? So that's one of the reasons for this breathing, but there's a lot. Whenever you do any kind of Kung Fu or Tai Chi or Qigong, you're going to want to use this diaphragmic breathing, okay? So anyway, if you haven't been doing it already, I hope you have, but if you haven't been, let's try it together right now. Okay, so the best way to do it is put your hands on your belly just like this. Now we got to make sure our posture is very good too. So I want you to make sure you're sitting up straight, okay? Don't sink back in your chair. Sit up straight so your back is not touching the chair, okay? And I want you to have your posture as straight as possible. Don't think of just pulling up your shoulders because when you do that a lot of times we just arc our back backward. We don't want that, right? We want to have the spine straight. So I want you to visualize that the very top of your head right here has like a fishing wire hooked into it and someone's above you winding you up very gently. Okay, so they'll be pulling right from here. Every time you breathe in, I want you to gently imagine someone lifting you up here by the spine. Okay, it's got to be gentle, so you're not jerking back like that, but you're gradually being lifted here. And then as you exhale, all your muscles are relaxing down, but your shoulders are not, your skeletal structure is not sinking, just your muscles are. Okay, so try that a few times. Okay, just visualize that. Breathe in, visualize, and feel yourself getting pulled up gently from there, and then breathe out and feel all your muscles kind of melting to the floor. Okay, try it again. Breathe in. Feel yourself getting pulled up gently. and then breathe out. So if you're doing it properly and gently, it should be very subtle. You should barely be able to see it if someone's looking at you. Okay, so now that your posture is good, put your hands here on your belly just like this. And then as you breathe in, you're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Breathe in and try to push your hands out with your belly. And then breathe out and then relax your hands and your stomach back in. Okay, try again. Breathe in all the way in. So your belly's getting bigger. And then breathe out. Good. And again, breathe in all the way in so your belly expands. Good. And then breathe out. Now try to breathe out everything you can. Don't just stop at a half breath. Breathe all the way out like this as I'm talking. Breathe out. And then breathe in again. Okay, so that's proper diaphragmatic breathing. The more you practice this, the quicker it will become automatic, so you don't have to think about it all the time. And then once you have this, when you're in stressful situations, you can control yourself, you can control your breathing, so you stay calm, right? But if our breathing is always up high, always tight, we're always going to be kind of a victim to whatever's happening. We're not going to have control. We're going to let other people anger us, other people excite us, or get us nervous or anxious based on their actions. But if we learn to control our breath and control our mind, we can control our response to whatever it is, right? You can't always control someone else's actions, but you can control your response to those actions, okay? And your response will depend on your frame of mind and your state of relaxation, okay? So practice that breathing, and everything we do later on, you can add it into any Qigong, anything you're going to do.